Welcome to episode 118 of Star Wars and Scotch. It's Kevin with my buddy Tim. Yep, that one. And we got stuff to talk about today. We got 2 episodes of Bad Batch to drop this morning. We have 9 minutes of gameplay from Jedi Survivor. The episode names for Star Wars Visions were announced. And Mark Hamill's still an awesome guy. So we'll talk about that and more, I'm sure, as we go off on tangents. But before we do that, I would like to say that Tim and I are really enjoying this morning delicious cups of King's Coast coffee. And Tim, just so you know, I tried to get Heartbreak Reserve.
Yeah.
And the only ones they have earmarked left, because people bought so many, are the ones that they have in the shop. So Abby said if nobody buys them by the end of the week, she'll send you, me, and Ben bags.
Oh, I was at that show. I was about to say if she was only going to send you one, I was gonna.
No, it's Abby. It's not Wayne. It's Abby. So, kingscoastcoffee.com. Wayne sourced something really cool for the end of this month. So stay tuned on that. It's something that always goes pretty fast and something we do not get large quantities of. Wink, wink. Nudge, nudge. So make sure you stay tuned. Mango. I'm not saying what it is. I'm not saying what it is. I'm not.
Okay.
I'm not. I'll tell you afterwards, but I'm not going to tell them.
You will tell them what's coming.
You will buy the coffee.
Damn, I tried, guys. Sorry.
kingscoastcoffee.com. Somebody, there was something the other day that I saw with Star Wars where, it was a drink, basically an espresso martini at Galaxy's Edge at Oga's Cantina. An espresso martini, but it's called like the calf something, because coffee in Star Wars is called calf. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's a pretty cool name, Kevin. It's a pretty good name, Kevin.
We'll workshop it, Tim. kingscoastcoffee.com. What else we got? gcxevent.com/tickets. A bunch of people all of a sudden just started buying tickets last week. Okay.
Oh, good.
The excitement's there. Hotel block is we did change something in the contract that's what's holding up the hotel block, but the changes came through late last night. So we'll sign off on them today, and hopefully we'll have that block open to you by next week. And you can start booking your hotel rooms, your plane tickets, all of that stuff, your Disney stuff. And I wouldn't book anything in the theme park realm just yet. You might want to wait for information on that. I have not said this publicly, so Star Wars fans, you're the first to hear that I'm even hinting at not buying theme park tickets right away. Yeah, so I'm only two episodes into Last of Us, but yeah, so much Pedro coming down the pipeline. There's probably, we got did you see the SNL skit where he did the Mario
one? Yeah, it was really good. But it was like in the tone of Last of Us.
Yes.
It was really good. Yeah, and like he has to transport Peach. Yeah, well done.
In a cart.
Let's go.
So Mando season 3, 20 days away, and we're close to Celebration too. We're only 2 months out from Celebration now, which again, Tim and I are not going to London. We're not going to London.
80 days away from Jedi Survivor.
Well, we talked about that last week, but you'll get there, Tim. Don't worry, you'll get there.
No, dude, it's just rough right now.
I felt like all the games that are coming out in February and March were like, and put it later this year. So now there's nothing in February or March. Am I wrong? I feel like I'm right there. Yeah.
Then you can stream right now.
Yeah. So,
Dark
20 days
is out. So I mean, like that's all right.
It's very slow.
It's super slow.
It's very slow.
Slow.
I watched you and Gibbons play it, and I was like, this feels slow.
Yeah.
Well, Mando season 3, 20 days. It's the next exciting thing in Tim's life.
I'm excited. Can't wait till that cute little bastard shows up on screen again. So cute.
He's cute. I've been getting a ton of Grogu memes. I sent you one the other day. The one where you're feeding the baby at midnight with Yoda with the 20 days. But what we have now is Bad Batch, and we got 2 episodes today. We got episode 7 and episode 8.
Kevin, I'm going to be honest with you. I only watched episode 7.
You did not get my Discord message on Monday, did you?
No. Where? What Discord message?
I put it in the Star Wars and Scotch chat.
There's a Star Wars is where?
In the Rare Drop server.
Oh, dude, I did not get that.
Yeah,
Okay,
there's
I only
two.
watched episode 7.
All right, well, we'll talk about episode 8 next week and episode 9.
We could talk about episode 8. Why did they drop 2?
Because they were very connected.
God damn it.
You didn't notice that the Bad Batch really wasn't in episode 7?
No, I thought that was a cool thing. I was like, oh, this is sick. They're continuing on the conversation of what happened on Camino. This is great.
Yeah, but then they bring them into the story of what happened.
Damn it, dude. It was perfect. It's 27 minutes. I do it on the cardio machine, and I finished, and that was it. I didn't think anything of it. I was like, that was easy.
I warned him, Chad. I put it in Discord.
No, you should have texted me. Do you want to see my Discords? The amount of Discords. I have one Discord server that has 155 alerts on it. I just want you to know that. It's messy in here. Discord is not a reliable source of communication.
I will take it. That's also why I put the 9 minutes of Fallen Order in the last night. You're like, did you see the 9 minutes of Survivor? I was like, yeah.
I texted you. I was like, Kevin, it's great.
I will text you next time they do this because I have a feeling they'll probably do it again.
God damn it.
Anyway, so episode 7 of the Bad Batch.
Jesus Christ.
Well, all right. This is fine though because they do go together, but episode 7 really put meat on the bone for a larger Star Wars lore, which is something you've been looking for in the Bad Batch. So give us your take.
I mean, they committed genocide. Like,
we knew that already. The Senate didn't know that.
But I didn't realize that all the Kaminoans were dead.
Most of them.
So this makes a lot of sense as to why the entire cloning project just got completely just wiped off the face of the planet of the galaxy.
Well, keep in mind, Lama Su and some of the others are not dead. They moved them to that other facility.
Yeah, they were able to, like, they either evacuated or they moved off, but I didn't realize that just so many of them died.
Yeah, apparently they destroyed like major cities and stuff on Camino. It was not just isolated to the cloning facility.
And what's really interesting is that we already saw like some of the clones like defecting, but it's happening more and more of like this idea of like clones being the perfect soldier is not true. Like they really are human. And so like that's cool. Like you're really starting to see like the humanistic side of the clones. So like I thought it was a good episode. I thought it was dark. I thought the Senator Chuchi showing back up again. She's from Clone Wars, so like that was neat to see her again. She's
always been the like humanitarian, worried about people.
I mean like she's not a normal Pantoran.
Did you notice the other senator?
Which one?
Senator Pamlo,
the one that talked really slow.
The one from Rogue One with the hood that was in the Senate chamber with Chuchi and Leia's dad, whose name escapes me at the moment.
Organa?
Yes, Bail.
Yeah, she was the one wearing the white cloak, right?
Yep, she's from Rogue One.
She looked familiar.
She's the one that gives the speech or is talking to them about there being no hope in Rogue One, where before they're about to launch the assault. And Jin, or not Jin, is it Jin? Jin Erso, yeah. She's like, rebellions are built on hope. That part. I was about to say there was always hope, but that's Aragorn. So here's my thing. Oh, I'm so mad you didn't watch the end of the next episode.
No,
because there's a thing that happens that's pretty awesome and
I
pretty
wish they
crazy.
would have like put like to be continued or something that let me know, or just call it part 1.
It's 40 chess. Anyway, we'll talk about that next week. But in this one,
nuts, dude.
In this one, here's my thing with the clones is we really don't know. We know how they end up because we meet some of them in later adventures. We saw the one in Obi-Wan. Obviously you saw Rex is back. This is the thing that I want to understand. The assassin.
Yeah.
What's going on there? Because he called himself a believer. Oh, I didn't think of that.
Yep.
Because he called himself a believer.
Mm-hmm.
And Rampart is connected to Tarkin, and Tarkin is the one who starts the Death Trooper program, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes. I don't know. I really want to say yes.
So, with that being said,
That's where my head went immediately because Rex was like, he's not one of us. You know, it was like
right.
you could tell like he was, but even like his voice was different, right? Like it just like nothing about that seemed right.
He was just off. He was mentally off. He was not there.
Mm-hmm.
Death Trooper. I did not even think of that. Interesting. I like that.
That's my take on it.
So would that could then connect back to Crosshair's little crew that he has? Because some of them were not clones in his crew.
Right.
But could this be like a part of it? And
like, remember, like all the clones are going through like they're aging faster, right? So like you got to figure out like if you want to get the best of the best and you don't want them to go to waste, they're still like a decent military asset. Like what would you do? You try to figure out how to preserve them. And so like I would assume like the Death Trooper program would know how to like it would start figuring out how to do that because these guys are essentially like Frankensteins.
So if we follow this, then what it appears to me is happening is this, is that the Death Trooper program is going to be the answer or the antithesis of the Bad Batch.
Ooh, I like that, Kevin. You used the word antithesis.
Like, I can't see it. Right? Am I, you think I'm on the right track here?
I think you're going somewhere with it. Yeah. It's got it. Like it has to end somewhere, right? It has to go somewhere. And so like the only way that this kind of works is if it like it ends on something like that, where like the Bad Batch become the bad guy.
I mean, essentially
something weird. It's got to be something kind of crazy.
Essentially, they are at this point. They are the bad guys in the eyes of the Empire. I don't know if it was if you didn't see this, I'm sorry, but there is a point where it's probably in the second episode where Hunter is like, well, we're considered deserters.
Mm-hmm.
So
because they are.
Yeah.
Like in the eyes of the Empire, they are.
Right.
They're rebels.
So is Rex. So is Cody now.
Yeah. The only person who isn't in as far as like the clones that we know in the Bad Batch is Crosshair.
Yeah.
Currently. But I think Crosshair is going to have like that hero moment.
Where he returns.
I think his chip's gonna fade out. And he's gonna like lose this whole like idea, or the emotions of everything that he's done is gonna weigh so heavy on him that he's just gonna be like, I can't fucking do this anymore.
The chips to me too seem like their only point was Order 66. That nothing beyond that would work. Like he can't activate a new order via their chips. From what I'm seeing,
yeah, it was used. Yeah, it was that directive and that directive alone.
Yeah, and that's it. It doesn't work anymore. So now they're free thinkers again. Because all it did is
it just reinforced, like Order 66 reinforced the mantras that they are like already been like beaten into them. The whole like good soldiers follow orders and like all that stuff.
Yeah.
Like if anything, it was like something that it was like a steroid. You know, it was like something that just like really like built up that part of their brain where like they only could take orders and like nothing else could like really like get through. Nothing else permeated.
Yeah. Interesting. I did not make the Death Trooper correlation.
That's where my head went. Like the bounty hunter, like suit and stuff. Like it wasn't like your typical bounty hunter, right? Like it definitely felt like more Imperial. You know, and so like maybe he is like an Imperial assassin. Maybe there's like an assassin squad that we haven't seen yet. I don't know.
He's also a terrible shot.
Yeah, he missed a bunch. That's why I thought it was originally Crosshair, and then I watched him miss, and I was like, I can't be Crosshair.
When he missed all the first shots on the first two clones, I was like, all right, this better not be Crosshair, or else I'll be really annoyed, because Crosshair's the guy who literally killed droids with a coin. So, like, this better not be him. So I think they tried to fool you into thinking that it might be.
I think so too. Yeah.
And the helmet that he used also was very indicative of, for those of you who've played SWOTOR, the helmet you get from the Sith Inquisitor quest line. It looks a lot like that. So yeah, oh man, I did not even, that reframes my entire thinking of it.
That's just kind of like that's just the one thing that like where my head went. I was like, oh, it's got to be that. I don't know where else it could have. I don't know what else it could be.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think I understand why they're doing this in an animated episode, because honestly, the what is it? The clone, I forget what the act was called that's being brought to the Senate. But whatever that is,
Oh, the
is
conscription. Oh, it was like just their conscription stuff.
yeah, the decommissioning of the clones essentially. Um, it's more for the diehards. It's more for people like us that really want to dig into the lore. It's not something that a casual fan would care about, but it's so significant at the same time. Like it's important for us to figure out how we go from CT to TK. So I have a feeling that while there's going to be other filler episodes, that now now we have a clear path to what story is being told through the end of the season.
Yeah, I think this is a good turning point. I really liked that they, like, to your point, they showcase, like, we're getting an idea as to like how do we go from clones to normal conscripted soldiers.
Right.
This whole like it needs to be, the Republic needs to be protected by people that are the people. It's just like okay, I guess I could kind of see where you're
It's
going.
great
with that,
rhetoric.
but like, yeah, it's fantastic. But at the same time, like nobody wants to fight, so it's just like now you're gonna force people to essentially be soldiers,
which we know from Finn that is exactly what they do.
Mm-hmm. They just force them into the military.
Right. They take kids at very young ages and they become stormtroopers.
Mm-hmm.
And in the next episode, you will hear them use that word. I will just say that. I won't say anything beyond that, but they specifically say like the beginning of the stormtrooper.
Truth and consequences.
What's funny is when they say that, and I won't spoil it for you because it's a good moment.
No, spoil it.
No, I won't. I don't want to. I want you to enjoy it. So when they say that, though, it sends like that uncomfortable feeling up your spine, like when you watch like a World War II documentary and Hitler's giving a speech or something.
Oh, God.
And you like feel like really dirty and uncomfortable listening to it and hearing it. That's the vibe that you get when they announce like what this program is going to be for the stormtroopers. So when you get to it, we'll talk about it next week. Yeah, this is the reason. I think this is the reason the Bad Batch show exists, to give us great heroes. Every time I watch it, I'm like, man, give me that Bad Batch Republic Commando game.
Yeah.
Or like, could you imagine Bad Batch like in the style of Guardians of the Galaxy?
Yeah, that'd be dope.
Where you're like switching and telling them to use abilities and things like that.
Cool.
Oh, so
cool.
The
only other time that they're going to do this where they release 2 episodes at once is going to be the very end. It's going to be the season finale. It's called The Summit, and then Plan 99, and that'll be coming out March 29th.
Plan 99 sounds interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. And we'll be in the thick of, oh man, that's going to be one hell of a fucking morning, Tim.
Yeah, March 29th. It's going to be a lot, dude. March 29th. Holy
shit. Wait. Are we? No. Is that? Please tell me we're not in PAX. No, it's the week after PAX. Okay. Thank God.
Yeah, so we'll get 2 episodes on that Wednesday.
Yeah.
And then also, well, we don't know if Mando is going to be coming out on Wednesdays as well, is it? Is that confirmed?
Oh, can you check? I believe Mando's coming out on Wednesdays, but Paul will check and make sure. I'd love it if...
Is there anything else coming out on Disney Plus?
So from a personal standpoint, I would love it if it came out on Fridays. From a Star Wars,
I would love to see Fridays for Mando.
From a Star Wars and Scotch standpoint, that couldn't be worse for us.
Yeah, but I mean, like Fridays were really fun because like Mando, because you could just do Mando a minute on Fridays. Then on Wednesday, you talk about the full episode. It was so good.
So Paul's saying that Wednesday, March 1st is the first episode.
Oh man,
and I believe
be a heavy Wednesday.
They'll stick to that cadence. Yeah, I'm gonna have to. I'm not even able to do cardio on Wednesdays anymore.
Oh, Kevin, you don't even go to you. What?
I do it at home.
You do it in your house. You get to watch it from the comfort of your home.
I'm not gonna watch it on an iPad the first time around, dude. And I don't have a TV in there yet, so
you have till March 29th. No excuses. You still have to get your workout in.
Well, yeah, the trainer comes at some point in March, so I'll.
You have a trainer?
It's the machine, the functional trainer.
Oh, it's like, holy shit, Kevin.
I'm investing in myself.
Can't get his ass to the gym, but he's got a trainer.
So much work. It's all the way over there, Tim.
Jesus.
Isn't it funny that like my laziness just is only relegated to getting in the car and driving a few miles?
Yeah.
That's it. That's the only part of it. I'm not opposed to working out or it's just getting in the car and driving. That's it. That's all it comes down to. Well, that's it for Bad Batch. We'll catch up with what
that's
you
so
want.
Funny.
What?
That's so funny.
We'll catch up with the episode 8, and then we'll watch episode 9 as well, which I have a feeling will probably be a filler episode. So Tim's going to want to talk about episode 8 probably most of next week. So
see, look, it all worked out anyways.
It all works out in the end. You'll all be very happy. Everyone will go into Tim's chat tomorrow when they hear the episode tonight and be like, Tim, why didn't you watch both episodes?
You dumbass, you didn't watch both of them.
Blah, blah, blah. You're not a real Star Wars fan. No. He tagged your Discord.
I know more about Star Wars than most of those people that come into my chat anyways.
That is not going to stop them. Speaking of Mando, our good friend Pedro was on the Tonight Show, and he mentioned, and I quote, "I will say there will be more Mandalorians." We knew that from the trailer. Mm-hmm. A lot of them.
Mm-hmm.
Big epic battle.
We already knew that.
Plural. More than one battle. Maybe. End quote.
I really like him.
I love him.
I like how people call him Daddy now.
I mean, that's what everyone called Joel from Last of Us for years, and now he's Joel, so you get the title of Daddy.
And so, like, here was one where, like, he was on the premiere, and someone's like, "Hey, Daddy." He like gets all red, and he's like, "Hey, Mama."
Shane
he just seems like a cool guy.
Shane calls me Daddy.
That's weird.
Comes in the morning, he peeks his head in the office, goes, "Good morning, Daddy." I'm like, I don't mind. Yeah, but he's whoever was going to play Joel gets to be Daddy. That's just how it works. Because for how many years did you hear women fawning over like, I want a man like Joel. I want a man like Joel.
I mean, like he's a manly man, dude.
A resourceful silver fox. He's Joel. So yeah, he gets that title. But yeah, he's slaying it. But with that information, and we kind of already knew, but the fact that there's more than one, to me, means multiple touch points across this story. Let me frame what I'm thinking here. Something against the remnants of the Empire, internal struggles, because you know they're not going to get along off the bat. And then, Din having the Darksaber is going to be a huge issue. Huge.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because we have one of those the Vizsla that already tried. The guy who what's his face plays?
Jon Favreau.
Yeah, the one that Favreau plays. That Vizsla already tried once for the Darksaber. So, like, I would assume that he'll bring a band of Mandalorians to come fight him this time.
Well, you're going to have the other clans. So you're going to have, there's, depending on which pieces of lore they start pulling from, we
have no idea what the hierarchy of the Mandalorians look like right now.
There probably is none, because they've said we're scattered across the galaxy. So you have the Vizslas, you have Sabine's clan Ren. You have in the Legends there was a clan Fett. Now I know that wouldn't line up 1-to-1 with what we're learning about Boba Fett, but that doesn't mean that it wasn't like a title or an adopted name or something like that.
Oh my God, do you think Boba's gonna show up?
I don't know if Boba himself will show up. It's possible, given that they've crossed into each other's worlds a few times.
Doesn't Boba owe Din?
No, didn't he?
Or did they fix? Or did he already clear that?
I think they cleared that in.
Okay.
So the only reason I say Clan Fett is because of this is because is it Book of Boba Fett when we're on the Jedi planet? Not Jeddah. I just read that book. That's why it's in my head. When we're on, oh my God, it'll come to me. With Grogu, where he's on the Seeing Stone and the whole thing happens.
Yeah. It starts with a T.
I don't remember what show it was because it's all one big show.
And you hate the planet. You hate the planet because it's not what
Tython.
It looks like. Tython. See, there we go. I told you, it started with a T.
Well, I don't remember what show it was because that story now to me is just both shows. So forgive me.
It was Mandalorian.
Thank you. So when they're there
Season
and
2.
he talks about the chain code of his father for Jango, Jango was a full-fledged Mandalorian. So
yeah, but he was a foundling. So I don't know if he had already had that name or he did come from Clan Fett.
But even in Legends, the foundlings, they weren't called foundlings, but the ones who joined the clans, and they're not blood related because the Mandalorians don't give a damn about blood. They do not care about blood. They're more concerned with whether you can carry on the legacy of the name based on your skill in combat. They do not care about bloodlines.
Holy crap, we could have a clan Fett.
So there could be a clan Fett that's
That's where Book of Boba Fett season 2 could go.
Is he takes his control of Clan Fett and has his like organized crime syndicate all in one show.
Oh yeah.
So Clan Fett exists in Legends.
Holy shit, that could be so dope.
But yeah, they don't really give a damn about bloodlines. They're more concerned with carrying on the name based on, prowess in
look
combat.
At Din. I mean, like Din's a foundling and they didn't give a shit.
So you have that. There's more to the story with the armor that we have to learn, and I have a feeling that's going to play into this season. So we know a few of the clans. I'm sure we might be introduced to a few more. We also
are they going to Game of Thrones this bitch, and it's going to be like all these?
Well, that's the thing is the Mandalorian culture is Westeros.
Yeah, Game of Thrones. Yeah. Oh man, this is going to be good.
You have houses, you have clans. You like it is a powder keg of a mess waiting to happen, but it's going to be great storytelling, and it's going to lead to a whole part of Star Wars that has not been touched in the Disney era. So
this is the shit that everybody wants.
Right. This is what we've been begging for.
When you go to Celebration, before any idea of the Mandalorian or like Boba Fett being alive, any of that shit, I swear to you, Mandalorians were some of the heaviest cosplayed characters at Celebration
because they're the most fun.
There's just fleets. It's fun because there's no real like interpretation of like what's considered like an actual like Mandalorian, like their types of armor and everything. It's just like it's so imaginative as far as like where they go with these pieces. Like there's certain aspects to Mandalorian armor that like everybody holds true to. Like they kind of like all make it look like Boba Fett to a certain degree. Like they all have like that stereotypical like visor and whatnot. But like
the T visor.
They go full out with like the type of like braiding and like trophies and stuff that they're wearing on themselves, like all this stuff. Like they either go like heavy like bounty hunter style, or they go like heavy like warriors like soldier style. It's like military-esque. It's really neat like how people interpret like what Mandalorians would look like. And so it's like I think that's why people love cosplaying as them, because it's just open to your imagination. There's like really no cut or dry as far as like when you have a Jedi like or like even like a Sith, like a stereotypical like Sith person that you end up like cosplaying. It's pretty much black robes, red lightsaber, dark makeup, like you're done. Jedi is like tan robes, like a nice light lightsaber, and that's it. Yeah. Like Mandalorians are just like all over the place, and it's so cool.
Yeah. Even in the Legends era, Mandalorian culture was always the thing in KOTOR and stuff that I was like, man, it's so cool. So it's taken time, but I think the lid's going to be off, and we're going to get more Mandalorian stories, new characters. Bo-Katan has a huge role to play in all of this. And the Night Owls and all that stuff. So what's her clan? Clan Kryze? Yes. House Kryze, something like that.
Yes.
Yeah. So that's another one. It's I'm excited, but we'll see in 3 weeks what the hell all the fuss is about.
Crazy, dude. Oh my God. We're
right here. And then by the time all this ends in Bad Batch, and I have a feeling Bad Batch's end is going to be a damn banger as well. That they'll be like, oh, Ahsoka. I have a feeling too, and we'll talk. Perfect segue. Visions season 2. They keep saying they haven't put a date out for Visions yet. And Paul, double check me here because I haven't seen a date, but just make sure that there's no date before I say what I'm about to say. I'm hoping that we at least get one episode, and it might only be for the attendees of Visions at Celebration, like the first episode or something like that. Now, the names of the episodes are.
Does the Vision come out in May?
Is it May? Paul's looking it up right now.
May the 4th. Yeah.
Oh, it is May the 4th. Okay, so we do have a release date.
So yeah, so if they showed off one of them at a Celebration like that would make sense.
Why are they coming out on May the 4th? That's also Guardians 3. Why are they doing this?
Because they aren't releasing anything else Star Wars in that time, and they needed something. So May the 4th makes sense.
Well, there's a lot of interesting.
Last year, May the 4th was behind the scenes footage.
Yeah, right? And we all hated it,
and no one really cared.
So this is interesting, and I want to read the studios after this. And Paul, chime in chat if you have anything to add to this, because you're the anime expert here. But There's these are the episode names: Sith.
Yep.
You have my interest. Screecher's Reach, In the Stars, I Am Your Mother, Journey to the Dark Head, The Spy Dancer. If that's not about a Twi'lek dancer that's a spy, I'll be upset.
Yeah.
The Bandits of Golak, The Pit, Sarlacc,
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
and Ow's Song. Now,
Ow's
here's the
Song.
interesting part to me. Most of the studios in the last season were all Asian, Korean, Japanese studios. This season has none of the returning studios,
Yeah, these are all different.
and they're all around the world. So I'll read the studio names and where they're from. El Giri from Spain,
Yep.
Cartoon Saloon from Ireland,
Good old Ireland.
Punk Robot from Chile, Aardman from United Kingdom, Studio Mir from South Korea, who I've heard of before, Studio La Cachette from France, 88 Pictures from India. I'm going to butcher the hell out of this one, and I apologize so hard. Dart Shitario
Art Stagio.
from Japan, and Triggerfish, who I've also heard of from South Africa.
I've heard of Triggerfish.
So go and look and see what else these studios are, but only one or two. One is from Japan and one is from Korea. All the rest are from all other parts of the world. So I'm very interested to see what that interprets to this season, because I have a feeling it's going to be a little less anime and more animation, but I could be wrong.
Yeah, I'm looking at like what Triggerfish has worked on, and they seem to do a lot of animal stuff. A lot of animal 3D animation.
So it's not
So that's
anime, right?
interesting. No, it's all like like 3D rendered stuff.
I'm telling you, it's just going to be fun studios making fun stuff at this point for Visions. That's how they create more longevity with it too, is not to lead it. Studio Mir is Legend of Korra, Avatar, Last Airbender, the Nickelodeon ones. Paul?
Yes.
I just want to make sure that, okay.
Yeah.
So it's the Nickelodeon ones. So that's Studio Mir. That was the one from South Korea.
That'd be good.
Yeah, I mean that people will be used to that animation style. So I watched Avatar with Hunter. It was a good show. Because I was a little old when it came out. So I'm old now too. Well,
Not get any younger.
Vision season 2, May the 4th, same day as Guardians 3. But we're not going to see that unless we rent the theater again, right, Tim? If not, it's Disney Plus.
I'm not good. I'm waiting to. Yeah, I mean, like Wakanda Forever came out on Disney Plus, and so that's how I'm gonna watch it.
All right.
Like Guardians is gonna be fun, but I don't really think it's gonna be one of those things where it's like if someone told me someone died, I'd be like, it's the last one, and I saw a lot of people are saying like they're getting good send offs. Like Batista was like, this is a great closure for Drax. And so I was like, okay, so either Drax dies or or like him and Mantis go off and make like weird babies. Like that's all that's left for Drax.
Yeah, well, I mean, until they bring in alternate universe Drax, whoever the new person's going to be, because that's what they're going to have to do with a lot of these characters coming forward. So,
I mean, if they continue to do that, yeah, who knows?
We shall see. All right, we're going to take a quick break, pay some bills. We're going to talk about Jedi Survivor and how awesome Mark Hamill is on the other side. See you then. We are back. Jedi Survivor, 9 minutes of gameplay on IGN. I watched it. Tim watched it. What'd you think?
So good. I can't believe we have to wait until
know
the
that
end of it. Just give it to me now. I will gladly take whatever form and state that the game is in. It looks good. And I'm sure like that, I mean, that could have been a vertical slice. It could have been a plethora of
that
things.
Wasn't a vertical slice. It had a UI.
I don't think it was a vertical slice. Yeah, it had. I mean, like it looked great.
Unlike another preview we saw.
Holy God. Yeah, that looks really good. The combat looks cleaned up.
Wait,
Looks.
Day before, have you seen all the comparison?
Yeah,
shots?
they literally ripped off everything.
This is my favorite story.
Everything that you can think of has been ripped off by that game.
My favorite story. Continue. Sorry.
Gaming industry is a shithole right now.
I'll burn my tongue.
Sorry, Kevin.
Continue.
Yeah, it's just like the stuff that I saw, the combat looks really cleaned up, and the combat was good, but it looks more fluid.
Yes.
There's just something about the way that he was moving, and I don't know if that's the engine or it's the way that they just like the way that they mocapped it or whatever. But like the movement looks, it doesn't look as like heavy and like Dark Soul-esque as the first one did. And I think it looked like that for two reasons. One, it was their first game. And two, it also allows you to feel like Cal is learning how to become a Jedi because he's never really had to use that lightsaber to defend himself because he's been in hiding. Like he had like the little bit of training when he was a kid before Order 66, and then he goes into hiding. So he hasn't had that time to learn and learn how to finesse the lightsaber in specific ways. Now he's out there and it looks beautiful. He's swinging it around and he's just like kind of flowing through it. Like the grapple looked great. Like the different types of enemies that we were fighting, familiar stuff, newer things. The force powers look good. Like, I mean, just it was hard for me to pick something out where I was like, that looks like shit. Like whatever planet they were on and looking at the Imperial presence that was there. What's the big ball? It starts with damn, can't think of it. But we haven't really seen one of those like up close. So like that was neat to see. Yeah, like there was nothing in like the 9 minutes where I was like, I don't want to play this game. Like it just made me sad because I can't play it right now.
Name of the planet was Kobo, brand new planet, hasn't been in anything else. I pulled up the thing. So the UI is way different from Fallen Order Survivor. One of my favorite parts was switching from dual wielding and double bladed. That was pretty awesome because he just was like boop in the middle of a fight and mess it. And it looks like it's just a toggle on the D-pad as per the UI.
That's how it was, I feel like, in the first one, but it definitely wasn't like it wasn't like as smooth as it was in that. Like it was a part of like the combos.
Yeah. So this seems like it opens up a new, I don't want to say skill tree or anything like that, but some sort of new attack options, defense options, if you will. We didn't have a super, and it looks like you have an alt in this because it's that little yellow piece at the bottom, and it, like
I saw that it was on it was on the touch thing, and it looked like it was like a slowdown effect or something. I couldn't really like figure that one out.
Yeah, so we have that as well. That looks new. He uses it at one point, but I didn't really fully see what it did. So I think either there's alternate ones or we'll learn more in the game. They did a good job too of making Cal look just a little bit older. He's not like old, but he looks older than he did in the first one. And droids.
It's also called a Lucra Hulk, by the way, in case you were wondering.
Oh.
They're called Lucra Hulks.
Oh. Well,
that was really bugging me that I couldn't think of it. I was like,
Well, the droids was the other part. And also, if you listen to the conversations these miners are having, because apparently this is like some sort of mining revolt, the one guy says, oh, I tried to reprogram my own droid. And the other guy's like, oh, how'd that go? So we know that they're not like holdout Clone Wars droids. They seem to be...
No, they're repurposed B1 battle droids.
Yeah. Well, there's other ones too.
Yeah, well, so like some of them had like paint schemes on them, which made me think of Mr. Bones.
Mr. Bones. At your
Mr.
service.
Bones. Yeah, love Mr. Bones.
Kill,
so cool.
Destroy. Love Mr. Bones. But yeah, then the we got some glimpses into some of the beast fights too, and I mean, we knew that from the first game. We were still going to get good ones. So it seems that they did was take the first game, use everything we loved about it, and just build on that. That's all they did.
Yep. Even like some of the moves are still the same. Like I'm going through some of the gameplay right now. Like he's fighting a B2 battle droid, which is pretty sick. And like he's doing his thing where he's doing the spin deflect with the staff lightsaber, or he's like blocking shots and running and spinning it like a helicopter.
Yep.
Like that's dope. Like that's really, really cool. And it's just like you said, it's just like they took all the really cool stuff from the first one and just improved on it.
So I mean, I'm not gonna say like I was like, oh my god, I'm so impressed. It was more like I am even more excited to play this game than I was 9 minutes ago.
Because the first one was so good.
Right.
Like that's really what it comes down to, is the first one was just so good. Like it's hard not to be excited for this one, because this is going to be just a true it feels like a true continuation from what we already have. And going back and I went back and played Fallen Order a few months ago, and it still feels really good. It's challenging. The boss fights are still really fun. The planetary exploration is still really satisfying. It's a good time. The puzzles are fun. Like it's a game that I feel like holds up really, really well. And I would be comfortable letting Kyler play this at some point because it's just like it's a cool game and it does a great job storytelling and it holds up.
And it's like enough of that soul style combat where you can get your fix if you put it all the way up and hard. I'm not saying it's a Souls game. I'm not saying it's a Souls game.
No.
But because it's Star Wars, they have to put difficulty levels because people want their kids to play it too. So for me, as someone that does not like ball crushingly hard games, because you only have 45 minutes to play a game at night, this is perfect. Perfect. So yeah,
But for someone like me that wants to perfect a fight sequence, I'd be like, jack this bitch up and let's see if I can get through it.
Right. And you could always make it harder. Or
exactly. You can do it on the fly, which is so much fun.
Yeah. So, it's in my opinion, it's something for everyone. So it looks great. One piece of news too from Games Radar on this too. Their fast travel will be in this game, which makes me think that the environments will be much bigger than they were. Because remember, in some of the environments, Tim, you had to walk all the way back from things.
Yeah, and now there's fast travel. So
yep, hooray. And then rideable creatures. So you'll be able to ride creatures in the game.
Yay, mounts! So. That's gonna be sick. That was always like the weird thing is like you could never like there was like some of the larger creatures that you really couldn't like interact with. Like you could kill them because they were there and you had a lightsaber, but like there isn't anything else that you could do with them. So knowing that you could potentially hop on those things and ride around, that also makes me think the maps are going to be much bigger too. Knowing that there's going to be a fast travel option and there's mounts, that definitely means that they expanded the amount of exploration that we can do.
I agree. I agree.
Yay.
Well, before we get out of here, we want to leave you feeling good today. And of course, Mark Hamill is usually the person that can do that from a Star Wars perspective. So Mark Hamill, he started selling signed Star Wars posters to support the refugees and the folks in Ukraine.
Oh, what a guy.
By his own admission, he doesn't sell signed merchandise very often. This is the first time he's done so in 6 years. Back when The Last Jedi was coming out, but this is a special case as he is one of the few celebrities to become an ambassador for Ukraine's, quote, army of drones, end quote, stepping up when Ukraine President Vladimir Zelensky asked him to join the fight against the Empire of Evil last September. So Mark Hamill out there just being an all-around good guy, as always. This is one of my favorite things about Mark, and one of the lines that always stuck with me was he said he understood his social responsibility that the world gave him as to be Luke Skywalker, which is why when he goes to children's hospitals, he goes in full costume and he goes in full character, because he says, I understand how I have to give back because of what you've given me. And anyone that says that and is that self-aware, Johnny Depp has his problems, but he does the same exact thing. He shows up in full freaking Jack Sparrow to go, but Tom Holland does it as Spider-Man. Like, there's just some celebrities that get it. Like, I've been given this gift, I need to give back. And, it's just cool to hear. It makes you feel good because the news ain't going to fucking report on this shit. So we have to. Thanks, Mark. That's your daily dose of good stuff to carry you through the rest of the week. Thank you so much for tuning in to episode 118 of Star Wars and Scotch. Make sure you go watch Tim's stream, fb.gg/darkness429. Do you want to see a grown man get really upset with a video game? Go watch Tim play Escape from Tarkov. Go. Go. I watched him log into a raid and die in 8, probably less than a minute yesterday.
Was that on Shoreline when I messed up on my scope, or was that at the end of the day when I got blown up?
That was at the end of the day when you were like, last raid, and you dropped in and
kill
it. Was it Killa? Was it Rashala? Rashala was on the other side of the fence, but they were already pushing him, and then they saw you and they just took your ass out before you even saw them. Go watch Tim play Escape from Tarkov. epi.gg/darkness429 and darkness429 everywhere else on the internet. I'm Kevin, KMagic101 on Instagram, Kevin X Vision on Twitter, and everything I do is at raredrop.co. So make sure you head over there, check out Star Wars and Scotch, Tim's stream, my stream, Ben's stream, and all of the cool stuff that we're working on. And we are announcing a new partnership with a new client that we signed, I believe next week or the week after. But also, if you're watching this weekend, Friday, 4 p.m. Eastern, live from Full Sail University, Rare Drop, we're the producers on it for the Bolts Chell Challenge, the Tampa Bay Lightning's esports event. They'll crown their champion for the year, and that champion usually goes into the GWC to play the winners. So the final four from a group of like 600 or 700 people will be playing each other live from Full Sail. And we will be experiencing that on Friday at 4 p.m. I think it's twitch.tv/TV Lightning or NHL Lightning, something like that. But go, have fun, enjoy. You won't see me unless they do crowd pan shots because I'll be the guy off to the side yelling and doing all sorts of stuff. Cool. It's always a pleasure. KingsCoastCoffee.com, GCXEvent.com. Have a great week. And as always,
May the force be with you.